there's so much free will out there. People just get so wrapped up into the traditional roles, traditional jobs, and the traditional 9-to-5 structure. But if you're not happy with that, you can change it. You can do anything you want. I had the very traditional path growing up. So it's like go to high school, go to college, join a fraternity, graduate college, go into the workforce in a corporate world. And that's like what you do. That's like what all of our parents did. That's like what was ingrained in me by society. But for me, like when I was looking at what I wanted to do, I was like, I don't want to work in a corporate setting. I liked working for a smaller company because I could kind of see everything and wear different hats. I was like, you know, want to serve and then kind of go from there. And I knew that my time in the Army would develop me personally into ways where after my career, then I'd be set for life just from the things I learned. And I was really drawn to the high standard of the infantry. And I held myself to a very high standard throughout that too, which I think was kind of my edge. I deviated from that path then. And then now working for you guys, I couldn't imagine where I would be if I just went the traditional path.
It's the dichotomy of there's very few things that are in your control, yet at the same time, when you know what you want and you have that intention towards the thing, the world almost like bends around it. Like you can almost like press a button and like the thing you want can pop out on the other side. Exactly. Chad, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, Brett, great to be here.
How does it feel to be on the other side of the camera?
It's so odd to be on this side of the camera after spending so much time like on the outside.
Yeah. So for the listener, the reason why I'm saying that is, so Chad is joining me. Chad has worked on the Meat Mafia podcast for the last 8 months. We've known each other for about the last year.
Yeah.
And so you've been doing all of our podcast production, editing, clipping, guest scheduling, so vision planning, so much more than that. But if you've listened to the show for the last 8 months, Chad is like the third leg of the stool for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome to be on this side of it.
Man, and you're dude, you've had such a cool story. I mean, so how we ended up working together, you're technically interning now. Yeah. And you just got out of the Army infantry, and the Army actually pays for you when you're transitioning to find jobs and internships. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's called the Career Skills Program. And so basically the Army will pay you to intern for up to like 120 days. So I have a 120-day contract, and it started like January 5th and goes until May 5th. And so they're just paying me to intern, and then I'll go back to, I was stationed in Alaska, and so I'll go back to Alaska, clear, and then come back to Austin after that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Harry and I are always amazed at just like the opportunities and the amazing people that we've gotten to connect with, and also like from a hiring process, just like the power of sending DMs to people. Like number one, us being able to connect with guys like you, and you just being able to shoot DMs to people, and we're like, we didn't even know that you could get these super dialed in dudes with military expertise, and the Army is paying for it, and then it's helping you kind of like get that intro into like the job and the career that you ultimately want to be in.
Yeah, the story of like how I came to be here is pretty interesting too. Like I remember it's like December of 2023, and I remember this like very vividly. Like it's like ingrained in my mind. It was like 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I was going to the field the next day for a week in the Army, and so I was just listening to podcasts like while I couldn't sleep. And I can't remember what episode I was listening to, but on the episode, Harry mentioned that they like needed help like doing clips or something, and like at 2 a.m. literally I like pulled out my phone, like DM'd Harry on the spot, and then like fell asleep like shortly after. And then I wake up, Harry replied, and he's like, can we hop on a call this afternoon? And I'm like, no, I'm going to the field for a week. And then so we did a couple like we texted back and forth a little bit, never got anything set up, and then like never talked again until I was looking to transition out probably in May. And I was like, I either want to go to Austin or go to New York City, and I either want to I want to work in health, but I either want to work like on the venture capital side of things, or I want to work for like a startup. And so Harry was like the first dude I reached out to. I hit him up again. I'm like, hey, circling back, like getting out of the Army, looking to do like an internship type thing starting in January. Hopped on a couple calls last summer, and then a big thing I wanted to do too is like start earlier than I came down to Austin. So like I wanted to start right away, and so did a couple interviews, started as a co-producer in August of last year, and then took over a bunch of the responsibilities in October, and then moved down here full-time in January, and we've just been ripping since then. That's
incredible, dude. I mean, I'm not just saying this because you're on camera. It's just been such a blessing, not just to work with you, but also build a friendship with you. And I remember because you had spoken to Harry a few times, and then we got on a call between the three of us. And my sense from you is like you just kind of had this like fire in your belly and this hunger that's really tough to teach. And I was thinking about, what are the themes of this conversation that could be helpful? And I view this, I think something about you is like just figuring out how do you ultimately like transition into a career and a profession that you want to be into, especially in 2025. So I'm curious for you, you're mentioning, hey, I know I want to be in health and wellness, either on the VC side or the media side. When did that kind of start to like percolate in your mind of like, this is ultimately what I want to do?
Yeah. So it kind of goes back to like when I was in college. And so in college, I had the opportunity to intern with 10,000 up in New York City. I was like their first intern when they were pretty small. Like I was in the office in New York City. This was my first like real job ever too. And so probably they would say this too. I was a horrible intern.
Why were you a horrible intern?
I was so lost in the sauce when I was up there. Like I was just like going up there. I was doing the best I could, but like I had no work experience at all. And like my only experience like working prior to that was I was like a barista at Starbucks for a summer. Like that was the only other job that I ever had. So anyway, I started working at 10,000. I'm like, okay, I really like fitness. I was a personal trainer. Like I just got my personal trainer certification. I just got my CrossFit level 1 at the same time. And so I was working at a couple gyms in New York City too at the same time. But it was like, I really liked work. I was like, I really like working out. Like I really like business. So it's like, how can I merge those two things together? And so working at 10,000, I kind of got to see like what it looks like to work for a company that's like fitness related, but like on the business side of things. And like I loved that. And so like I worked more like in the marketing side of things for them. And so like I don't enjoy that as much as I do like the operation side of things, like kind of like what I'm doing now. But yeah, so that's like kind of where it started. And then that's kind of what led me into the Army too, is like my love for fitness. And so it's like, and I wanted like a purpose as well. And so like when I was looking at what I wanted to do after college, I was like, okay, like I could work at 10,000 maybe, or like do like a similar type thing as that, or I could just like I felt kind of called to serve. And so like I was really like, a lot of my fraternity was in the ROTC program, and so I was like kind of looking at that. I was like, okay, like what's this all about? And then I remember I was like my junior year of school, and I was like, I want to be a Navy SEAL. And then I was like, I don't know how to swim, so it's like maybe I should look somewhere else. So I settled on the infantry, and like at that point it was too late for me to do like I could have done OCS, but it was like too late for me to do ROTC. And then I was like, you know, fuck it, I'll just like enlist in the infantry. And so like that's what I did. And then like that was awesome, and then kind of went into like working where I am now.
Yes. So for the listener, so you go to are you 25?
26.
26. So you've been out of school for a couple of years. You go to JMU, right? You're from Virginia, and you're doing like you know, your family probably thought you were just going to do traditional path, get your degree, go into business, maybe 10,000, maybe something in the health and wellness business field. And then you get this calling to serve. And normally guys that get a 4-year degree, they at least become officers. And so you decide, hey, it's too late for OCS, but I feel this calling to serve. So screw it, I'm going to enlist in the infantry, which is like probably one of the more dangerous units to be in the military, right? Yeah,
absolutely. My mom was terrified when I told her.
What was the reaction when you told your mom?
She was not happy with me. She's like, is that really what you want to do? I mean, they supported me 100%. My whole family did. But they're like, are you sure about that? Like, are you very sure? But yeah, it was very uncommon. And like, I had the very traditional path, like growing up. Like, I went in high school, like everyone from my high school is pretty much like everyone went to college. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but it's like, so suburbs of Richmond, everyone goes to college right afterwards. And then like everyone goes into like a 4-year job, like, or like goes right into like work and like goes into the corporate world, like right after that. So it's like, go to high school, go to college, join a fraternity, graduate college, go into the workforce in the corporate world, and that's like what you do. That's like what all of our parents did. That's like what was ingrained in me by society.
Yes.
So it's like, that's like, I see like, I don't know, it's like the very traditional path. Like a lot of people I feel like can relate to that. But for me, like when I was looking at like what I wanted to do, I was like, I don't want to work in a corporate setting. Like I really, like I liked working for a smaller company because I could like kind of see everything and like wear different hats and things like that. And so I was like, you know, want to serve and then kind of go from there. And I knew that like my time in the Army would like develop me like personally into ways like where like after my career then like I'd be set for life, just like from the things I learned. And like the infantry, like I was really drawn to the high standard of the infantry. So like everything you do is like held to such a high standard, and I like held myself to a very high standard like throughout that too, which I think was kind of my edge. But it's like I deviated from that path then, and then now like working for you guys, like I couldn't imagine where I would be if I just went the traditional path and like got an IT sales job and was like just doing like I have a marketing degree, so like just doing random marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I feel like I would be so unfulfilled.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny. I have a couple buddies that are Army infantry officers. You met one of them yesterday, my buddy Luke. He's one of my best friends, and then I played baseball with his identical twin, Matt. And it's funny, like I remember those guys because we all graduated 2017, and so I go the corporate path there in the Army, and I remember when they were thinking about getting out, I could tell that there was excitement, and then there was also like, how am I gonna do in a corporate setting? Mm-hmm. And my perspective on that was, I knew a bunch of guys that had played baseball and sports at a high level. And just like the training from athletics alone, as soon as those people got into corporate jobs, they crushed it because they just know how to work hard and focus on their tasks and grind. And I'm like, that's gonna be you guys on steroids. And now it's cool to see them like a couple years down the road. Like Luke is a firefighter, my other buddy Brian is in oil and gas, and they're both absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
So I just think it's cool.
I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. It's like one of my buddies who got out around the same time as me, and it's like being in the military is like, especially like I spent a lot of time on like staff, and so like being in that staff role, like it's really like grilled into you like what right looks like. And I was very fortunate to work for some very high performing leaders, and they like expected a lot out of us. And so like I was told we were both like working the same time, like in the same place together in the 3 shop is what it's called, the operation shop, and we were working there together. And it's like, we didn't realize like how much it would affect us like when we're out, but it's like I feel it now. It's like it was just hammered into me for years, and then now it's like just muscle memory. Like the standard of my work and like the quality of my work, I feel like is like I don't like let things go. Like I don't let things slide. Like I do everything the best that I can. I work as hard as I can, and like I try and make sure that like everything is like squared away.
How would you say your standards have changed when you think about yourself pre-Army and post-Army?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was pretty disciplined before the Army. Like it's all through college. Like I was the president of my fraternity. I was a personal trainer. I was like one of in the top student positions. Like at a rec center, and so like I was always like doing a bunch of things at different times. And like my friends would say like by Thursday, like they would see me on campus, and I was like an absolute zombie just because like I'd be working out at 5 a.m. and then like I'd be on campus until 10 p.m., especially like my junior year, like pre-COVID. I'd be on campus till like 10 p.m., and then it's like I'd wake up again and like do it again. And like by Thursday, they'd see me like walking the class, and like I'd just be like absolutely dead.
Yes.
So I've kind of always been like this. But it's like then I had to like fight with myself internally a lot to like get myself to like do things like to wake up. Like I was like, oh, this sucks. Like I have to wake up in the morning. And then like now after the Army, it's like, okay, I wake up, I run or work out, mostly run, and then it's like go to work. It's like it's just like that's what I did for 4 years. That's like what I do now. It's like I just wake up and run. That's like I don't know. It's just how I do it now.
Yeah. So it's just like the things that you picked up there. Just it's almost like you like have this default high operating standard for yourself now.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I couldn't even imagine waking up and like skipping a run. Like like I simply could not. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. One of the things I'll say about your personal brand to me, what I've noticed is like if anyone asks you to do something, there are a lot of people where you ask someone to do something and their track record is like, it's like 50-50. They might do it, they might not do it. Like anytime we're ever talking about something for work, like I literally know that it's going to get done very, very quickly. And I feel like just being the person that's dependable and reliable and has that discipline to like do the things that they say they're going to do for work, fitness, nutrition, the way you show up as a partner, like that's such a valuable skill set to just be the dependable guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I'm always looking for more work too. Like in the military too, I saw a lot of people that like they get comfortable in their position and then they just like kind of ride that out. But it's like for me, like all through my time in the military, I'm like always looking for more roles, more responsibilities. And like by the time I was getting out, like I had like 10 different hats I was wearing. And like there's like I left a big hole in the organization. Like when I got moved up to like the higher level, like June of last year, like from the battalion to the brigade level. And so like when I left the battalion, like I left like 7 different roles open, like just because like I was doing a bunch of different things at once.
Yes.
And so it's like that's just kind of like how I am. And so like I'm always hungry for like more work, more opportunity, more ways to grow, like more stuff to do. Just like trying to make the most impact I can on the organization. And so that like it's not very common. I've noticed like being on the outside of the army.
Yes. No, it's good to have like those uncommon skill sets, and also just be able to look in the mirror and be like, all right, so in college, I'm Chad, I'm in college, I have this ability to like load up a bunch of cards and do a bunch of different things, and maybe I feel a little bit burnt out, but not a lot of people can juggle all these different tasks, and I feel like you've almost refined that, and you're doing that from a work standpoint now. I don't know, I just feel like the earlier you are and the more you can almost just put your phone down and honestly just like go for a walk and think about the things that you're good at and your weaknesses, and just like triple down on those strengths, I think is so important.
Yeah, and like I was pretty late on that. I feel like I didn't really know what I wanted to do until like sophomore, junior year of college, like, because like before that, my first 2 years, it's like basically just like all I did was the fraternity, like nothing else mattered to me, and I was like going to class, like barely studying. I was like just what's going on this weekend, that's like all I cared about. And then it was like I had like a realization at one point. I'm like, what do I actually like want to do after school? It's like like what do I actually enjoy? And I was like, I like working out, like I like going to the gym, and I'm like, okay, let me explore that a little bit. And like I was like a computer information systems major like at the beginning, which is like business IT essentially. And I was like, I don't really like that, so I'm going to change my major. So I switched to marketing, and then I was like, I like fitness, and so I'm going to go into that. Got a job through a fraternity brother to work at 10,000, and that's kind of like what exposed me to like, oh, there's like a life outside of like just like going into IT or going into sales and like doing something random for a random software company that I don't care about.
Yes, like almost having the proof of concept of like, wow, there's actually roles out there where I can combine my love of these different things and work for a brand or start my own thing that I'm actually really, really passionate about. Like I remember the first time I was in tech sales and I was really into carnivore, and I saw that Heart and Soil was applying for roles. I was like, wow, I didn't even think about the fact that I could take this sales skill set and my love of health and maybe work for a brand like that. I think it's important.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize too is like life is so like moldable. Like you can make anything your job. Like you can do anything you want, really. Like there's so much free will out there. It's like it's crazy. Like people just get so wrapped up into like the traditional roles, traditional jobs, and like the traditional like 9-to-5 structure. But it's like if you're not happy with that, you can change it. Like you can do anything you want, and especially with the internet now too. Like you can make money doing anything now. It's crazy.
Yes, it's the dichotomy of there's very few things that are in your control, yet at the same time, when you know what you want and you have that intention towards the thing, the world almost like bends around it. Like you can almost like press a button and like the thing you want can pop out on the other side.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about with Jeff Wu. And it's like if you, like I feel like that's one of the biggest things whenever I have kids. It's like if I could teach my kids that in a very humble way, imagine going through life with that whole mindset, how great your life would probably be.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a big thing, like when I have kids too, is like I want to impart on them, like you can do literally anything you want.
Yes. So what's funny, so you're talking, one of the things I love about you is you always talk very favorably and honestly about your experience in the military. And I see this trend on podcasts of like these veteran run these veterans that have podcasts and media platforms that are maybe like late 30s, early 40s, and they speak very highly of their military career and like the value and the standards that they got out of serving. And then they say that if they were the same age now, they might not have joined the military because they're I think their argument is like the ethos of the military has changed, and it's kind of just feeling this like industrial military complex. And that's why I love talking to you, because it seems like you had a great experience.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious about like, what you think about what those guys are saying and just the difference in your experience versus what they think it might be like in 2025.
I'll kind of run through my experience. I had a very unique like time in the military. Like I don't think it was very normal. Like maybe it's just like because I went to college and enlisted, but I enlisted like I took an extra semester, so I did like half of the 5th year, and I enlisted during that time, but I was in the delayed entry program, so I left 2 weeks after I graduated. So I graduated December 2020. 2 weeks later, I'm on the bus going to Fort Benning, Georgia, and I'm like, when I graduated college too, like I'd already been like president of my fraternity. I had all these leadership roles like within UREC, the rec center, and I was like, I know everything there is to know about leadership. And then 2 weeks later, I'm on the bus, and I was like, oh, that I don't know anything. Like that does not matter now. So basically, did 6 months of training. I got orders to go to Fairbanks, Alaska, and I was like, I didn't even know they had a base there. Like,
Yeah.
I was like one of 5 guys in my company that went out of like 150 who went to Alaska, and so got shipped up to Alaska. Didn't know a soul there, obviously, 'cause it's Fairbanks, and then show up to a new unit. Like, I'm just like a specialist in the Army, like just a normal like. That I had no accomplishments in the Army. No one gave a fuck like what I did before the Army. It was like, you just show up, you're just another new guy. Immediately got sent to gate guard, which is like a detail. So I was like scanning CACs like at the gate for 2 months. So I didn't even like know anyone in my unit either for 2 months. And then come back from gate, start working. I was like a platoon RTO, which is like the radio telephone operator. And it's like I was an infantryman, but like the radio telephone operator is like a position like within infantry platoon that like an infantry guy has. And so I'd follow around the lieutenant essentially and like do his communications for him. And it was kind of funny because like the lieutenant that I had like was graduated college in 2022, so it's like pretty similar. But anyway, I was like doing that role for a little bit, and then my company commander, Captain Reebsom, he's Major Reebsom now. He like pulled me aside. He's like, "You need to go to OCS," and I was like, "Okay." And then so I applied for OCS, and during that I did like an interview with like the battalion executive officer, which is like a major, and so it's like pretty high up, like in an organization of like 800 people to like put it into normal terms, basically. And then did an interview with him. He asked me about my experience and like pretty much like what we're talking about now. I told him like everything I did in college, and then the next day I get a call like, "Hey, you're coming to work in staff." And I was like, "Okay," and so I was like, I asked to like stay down at the company level through there's this thing in the Army. It's like the expert soldier badge and the expert infantryman badge, which is like pretty prestigious thing to get. It's like a 3-week thing. You do like 2 weeks of train up, and then you do 1 week of testing, and it's 30 skills and like everything. Each skill you have to do, it's like a different lane. There's graders. It's like a whole operation, and it's like you have to do every task to standard within this time. Like it's like very laid out in the handbook of like what you have to do. So I was like, I wanted to get the training so I can get my badge, my EIB. And so I was like, please let me stay at the company level. So he let me stay, got my EIB. Immediately I went to staff, and I spent like 2 years working directly for a battalion commander and battalion sergeant major on staff, like as a specialist, which is like very unheard of. And so I was like just doing social media at first because I have a marketing degree, and so they're like, "Oh, get this guy a camera and take some pictures." So that was like kind of odd. But then like from there I grew. Like I just like kept collecting responsibilities. Like I was running the newcomer program, and so like once a month I'd have like between like 10 to 25 new soldiers like to the unit, and I'd teach them, like get them integrated into the unit, and like teach them about Alaska and things like that. And then I was like doing the database that we do like training management in, and I ran that. And then it's like I went to every meeting that we had as an organization, and like took notes and stuff like that. And then I was just like the battalion commander's like radio telephone operator, so I did all his communications and stuff like that too, which is pretty cool. But basically I worked directly for battalion commander for 2 years, and then when he left I got pulled up to the brigade level and worked for the brigade commander for another 8 months.
So it's really just like you got these unique opportunities and you really like made the most of your experience there.
Yeah.
Was there ever a part of you when you were in Alaska, like did you ever have a realization, like texting maybe your buddies that you went to JMU with or Richmond, being like, hey, you know, this buddy's like in New York in this tech job, or this guy's doing sales wherever, like almost like a recognition of how unique it was, and ever wondering like what it would be like on the other side of that?
All the time. Yeah, I thought about that all the time. I was like, I liked Alaska, and like I really enjoyed it and grateful for my time there. And now looking back on it, I wouldn't want to be stationed anywhere else. But while I was in Alaska, I was like, oh, this place, like it's so small. It's like cold all winter, dark all winter. It's so like it kind of sucks. Like, and I'm a city guy too, so it's like very small town. I'm like, this kind of sucks. So like I see my friends living in New York City or like living in DC or in Richmond, and like they're having so much fun every weekend, and like I missed like every family wedding that I've had until like this past weekend when I was home for one. But it's like missed all these weddings, all these different events, every bachelor party pretty much. Like I've missed all these different things, but at the end of the day, like I knew that I was doing the right thing. Like I was doing what I was meant to be doing at the time, and so that kind of gave me peace. And like I had a lot of friends in Alaska too, and so that made it a lot easier. because like everyone was kind of going through the same thing. But when you're living like 3,500 miles away from everyone else, like it is definitely isolating.
Yes. Well, it's probably a superpower for you now, where it's like, for the listener, you know, when we decided that we were going to do this, you know, you just picked all of your stuff up from Alaska and just came to a brand new city, Austin, didn't really know anyone besides us. And you've just like thrown yourself into that environment.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I have so many friends from New Jersey, man, that thought it was the craziest thing ever, me moving to San Diego in 2022 and now being in Austin. And it's like, you being in Alaska, you're like, dude, I could do anything. I could be anywhere and you could probably make it work, right?
Yeah, I was like, I did it once in Alaska. It turned out pretty well, so I can do it again. But even when I moved here, like, I didn't even know you guys in person. Like, I had never met you guys in person until like a week into me being here. So I saw like Eric Hinman posted like advice for like a young 20-year-old like moving to a new city, and it was like, join a community-based gym, go to like 5 run clubs a week, like talk to everyone you see, and like do all these different things. And so I screenshotted it. I was like, oh, it makes sense. And so came here, joined Squatch, and then went to like every run club for like a couple weeks and like just like met as many people as possible. And then I met one of my friends, Kevin, in the sauna at Squatch here, and he's like, hey, come out to our run club next Friday. It's Dom's run club. And so I showed up next Friday, and then like from there, it's like they're all super welcoming, and then like I made friends like super easily. Like I was shocked, like within like a month of me being here, like I had a friend group and like I had people to hang out with all the time, and now I have like too many events to go to. Like I'm always getting invited to stuff, and I'm like, I don't have enough time.
Now you're the guy saying no.
Yeah, I don't have time to do anything. I've only been here for almost 3 months now.
I think it's a feeling that a lot of young people need to have. Like, I just remember getting here the first time in 2021 and knowing no one, and being in the apartment that I had with Harry, and being like, just seeing the skyline of the city and people on runs and at the gym, and being like, we don't have anyone in our community yet, but I just know what's going to happen, and I can't wait to build those relationships. And then Austin in particular, we've talked about this many times. This is the best city for relationship building in the country.
Everyone is so welcoming. And like, I don't really meet many people that like grew up here. Like everyone's a transplant, as they call it. And so like everyone here pretty much did the exact same thing at one point in their life. And so everyone's like, oh, I moved here by myself like a year and a half ago. Now you're moving here by yourself like a week ago. Like, let me take you in and show you how it is. And it's like everyone is just super, super welcoming, super active. It's like a great community to be around. Everyone's like doing something too. Like everyone has a side hustle or like another business or something. It's awesome.
Yes, it's a great city for the black sheep transplants, where it's like, hey, you know, I moved from Richmond, Virginia, or Princeton, New Jersey, and you know, when you're back home, you feel like you're the only person that has this like eclectic combination of interests, and then you come here and you're like, no, everyone's doing like the same thing, different thing, but it's like it's a very similar ethos, and I think there's a lot of power being in an Alaska or being in a city where you're kind of like on an island and you're discovering and like honing and refining that passion. And then when you're ready, going to the right city, and then it's like jet fuel, right? Yeah,
exactly. And like, if you're moving to a new city, like you really do have to put yourself out there. Like you're not, if you just like moved to Austin and just like sat in if I just sat in my apartment and like went to the coffee shop that I worked out of initially, like if I just went to those two places, like I would have never met anyone. Like you have to make an effort to like actually go to events, like be uncomfortable. Like, yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable showing up to every run club where everyone knows each other and like I don't know a soul. I don't know a single person anywhere. But it's like you do a couple of those, and then it's like maybe you see one person at a different run club that you met at like another one, and so it's like you start to meet people, and then like from there it's just like it's so easy.
Yes, well said, man. What was the feeling like for you getting to Austin and the realization of like, I can wake up whenever I want. I don't have to do all these like duties at the base anymore. Like, what was that feeling like?
It's pretty wild. I was talking about this, one of my barber here, Eric, I went to high school with him, and then he was also in the Army. And so like, he moved here like a little bit before me. And so I was talking to him about it. He was like, yeah, like you just can't let yourself slip. And I was like, you're right. Like I try and keep myself to that same discipline, but it's like, it's really weird now. It's like, for 4 years, I'm like legally required to wake up at a certain time and go.
Legally required.
I'm legally required to wake up at a certain time, be at this place at a certain time, wearing this certain uniform, like ready to do like a certain thing. Whereas like now it's like I could just do whatever I want, but it's like, I don't know. It's like a lot more. It's not stress free.
Yes.
Like I feel like I just got out of prison essentially. Like I'm like, oh, could be a few minutes late, but it's like I'm still gonna wake up and do the things that I need to do. Like, it's just like, that's just ingrained in me now, like I said earlier.
Yeah. When you're saying that, I really do understand why people gravitate towards things like 75 hard or some of these challenges that exist where it's like, it's just baked in discipline. And if you want to finish it, you just have to hit all the deliverables on that thing.
Yeah.
And that is a realistic fear of like, hey, I've been doing this thing for so long. And just the fear of like slipping and deviating away from those standards. It's like the guy that's like, hey, dude, when I was 20 years old, I could bench press 315 and now he's 50 pounds overweight. And like, dude, that didn't happen in a week. That happened like this gradual decay of, sleeping in and skipping the gym and then starting to eat processed food. And next thing you know, you look back and you're this unrecognizable person. But then also the flip side is also true too.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Crew last week, and he's the king of this. He's like, I just wanted to wake up and run every day for 30 days, and then at the end of the 30 days, I'm like, well, I'm just not going to stop running. And now he's almost been running every day for like 2,500 days. And so it's like, I don't know, just like, you just have to do it.
Yes. No, 100%, man. I guess like when I think about everything you're doing in the health and wellness space and the skill set that you're cultivating, for other people that are in their early to mid 20s that maybe want to transition in the space or create content, are there any skill sets that you've really worked on to develop where you're like, hey, I would recommend you figure out how to do this thing or figure out this piece of technology just to like make yourself valuable to a brand or something like that?
I don't know if it's like specific to technology, but it's like just making yourself coachable.
Yes.
And like being open to receiving feedback from others and like find people that like you can work for, that like you can learn from. And like Mr. Beast said something. I was listening to an interview like Mr. Beast. I can't remember what podcast it was on, but he was essentially saying like what he does is like he'll take someone and he'll have them like shadow him for like 3 months and like essentially clone them. And then like so like at the end of the 3 months, like he has this clone of this other person who like knows like all of Mr. Beast's like decision making. Like he knows him so well. Is like he can like foresee like how like he'll make a decision like before he even comes to him. So like when then he places them off into like a different role like in their company, and so like it makes it easier on him because like they know exactly how he's going to react to all the things that they're about to bring them, so they cannot be like 10 steps ahead. And so like, oh, I have this problem, instead of just like bringing it to Mr. Beast, they're like, oh, let me do this because I know that's probably what he wants, and then like let me do this a couple other things and then I'll bring it to him. So it's like later down the line. So it's like making yourself like able to be coached is like one of the biggest things, and then like trying to like find people that like you can get like traits or like advice, or like finding a mentor essentially. Like in the space that you want to be in is another big thing. And like just being like, hey, can I just like shadow you? And just like even like part-time, like if you have a corporate job and like let's say like you do like tech sales and like you want to work in health, and so it's like on your off time like find people in health that like you can like be around, and like putting yourself in the right room is like also a big thing too. Like you have to be in the right places, so it's like join the gym that everyone hangs out at and like that you want to be, or like just like find ways to make yourself useful to those people, and then like it'll just kind of go from there.
Definitely. It's the combination of like you're doing the work behind the scenes so that if you can then get in the room with the right people, they're going to recognize the talent that you have. And it sounds so basic, but I don't think enough people blend those two things together. Like that was a big thing for us going to Expo West, where it's like we saw so many people that we had like look up to or knew about from afar. And then you're in the same room, so you actually get to meet those people, and they're like, oh, we're actually building great relationships and having conversation, and we're learning things from them. They're asking us questions, and now we're going to have some type of a relationship in the future. But it's like we actually, like making the effort to put yourself in the room because you've done the work behind the scenes. And like it was like when you were at Collective and you met that big executive at that SaaS company, and now you're going to do something with him too. Like that's the perfect example.
Just randomly in the sauna, like that was awesome. But just putting yourself in the right room. Like Collective is a great example. Like we pay $400 a month to go there, which is insane for some people would say, but like the ROI from that, like if you just like meet the right person, that like it could pay off like 1,000 times over. Like
definitely.
And you just have to kind of like be ready for those scenarios.
Yes. Which is, I always think people hear the word like 400 for a gym, right? And your initial reaction, society programs you to be like, that's absurd.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, it's like, well, it's a beautiful gym. Fitness is super important to both of us, right?
Yeah.
What is that worth? I think that's worth $400. And then beyond that, like the caliber, like you were saying, like the people you get to bump into there.
Yeah.
We got so much of our, for Noble, the first round of capital that we raised, over 50% of that was from people that we literally met at the gym. So it's like, when you think about it from that perspective, of course, 400 is worth it, but you have to have that targeted mindset, like you're saying. And then also, dude, $400 is like 2 nice steak dinners too, or like drinks that you're probably already spending. It's just repurposing your funds towards the right things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you just got to get out of that mindset of like, oh, $400 is a ridiculous amount of money. Like, but it actually like it's so worth it. Like,
yes.
The gym is incredible too. It's
yeah, it's beautiful. That's the one thing that I feel like I'll always try and dedicate some good money towards. Like, even if I have a home gym set up, is finding that place out in the community, like really nice gym. You know, you're baked in to be around really good people.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like a lot of like, not gyms, but like I guess like wellness clubs popping up everywhere, like where there's like bathhouses, or like there are these like there are different places in New York too, right, where they're like there's like saunas and cold plunges, and it's like just like a meeting ground for people. And so like just finding like community spaces to meet like-minded people of like where you want to go in your career is super important.
Yes. I love what you were saying before also around being coachable, because being on the flip side of that, of like hiring, we've had the most success from people like you, where it's, I would categorize it as like the raw generalist. And when I mean raw, I mean someone that's like very passionate, they're competent, they might be in a different industry, but they have this like fire towards the thing that they want. And they're like, I want to work towards this brand. And when you're the person that's hiring for the job, I think there could be natural insecurity around like, hey, well, I've never been in this industry before. How am I going to stack up? Can I add value? And I think you would be amazed at, like you were saying, how far a really nice cold message could go towards that company or that person you want to connect with or work with, and just letting them know, here's my background, here's why I love your brand, here are the things that I think I could do for you. And then from a hiring perspective, you can't teach the fire. And if someone has that fire, you can clone them, like Mr. Beast was talking about. Exactly. That when we've had poor hiring experiences, actually from the person that's experienced, but they're actually set in their own ways, and they're not coachable. So culturally, it's actually not compatible.
Yeah, and I've talked to you about this before too. Like, I don't know what my like people like. I don't know what my like special thing is. Like, like I don't know what I would say like I'm good at. Like, some people like, they're like email marketing kings, or like they're like, oh, I'm really good at sales, I'm really good at this. Like, I do operations, which is like pretty general in itself, but it's like, I don't know like my special thing is, but I do know like no matter what role I'm put into, I'm confident in my ability to learn and like excel at that role. And so like, just like by doing that, it's like it opens up so many doors for me. And like I'm very bought in on Noble and the Meat Mafia and like base brands, and like I'm like, I want to work in this organization, like I will do anything, like it doesn't matter. And so that's like the mindset you have to have.
Yes. Yeah, like it's almost like, I think your specialty is literally just being unbelievable at follow-up, and you're good at a lot of different things. Like, you have the operations brain, you're also great at everything you're doing from the podcast, which is like, there's like an artistic touch there. You have vision where you're like, hey, this guest would be really good. Like, you've gotten a bunch of big guests on the show for us, which our audience might not realize. But I think owning the fact of, hey, I'm in my mid-20s, I'm where I need to be, and I'm just going to work really hard with great energy at a bunch of these different things, and I'm going to figure out the one thing that is like the horse that's starting to pull away, and then I'm going to just triple down on that thing.
And like for me, like I have a marketing degree, and that kind of got me into the door. And so I started off like making clips. But like, I don't like making clips that much. Like,
you'll like, do it. It's just not the thing that you want to do or you're the best at.
Yeah, and I feel like I do an okay job.
You do.
Like,
you've done some great. You made some great clips.
It takes me a lot, like mentally, to actually like make those clips. Like, I feel like I'm so drained afterwards. Whereas like, I have like a very like systems oriented brain. So like when I have like a million tasks in the sauna, and I can just like rip on a bunch of different things at once, like in a bunch of different projects, like I'm extremely efficient at that. And that's like where I feel like I enter a flow state. I'm able to just like crank through work. But it's kind of just like, but I had to do like the marketing stuff to kind of get my foot in the door. And so it's like, you really just have to do whatever it takes to get in there. And then once you're in there, you can like be like, hey, like I actually like operations more than I like marketing. And then like you kind of like weasel your way into what you want to do.
Yes. it's like in the beginning, the inevitable thing is you have to eat shit at a bunch of different things. And then you get yourself to a point where you outsource. And to your point, like I remember having this realization a couple months ago, like let's take Noble, for example. I'm like, all right, what gives me energy? I'm like, I love building our affiliates. I love sending product to people. I love writing handwritten notes. Like I love driving revenue for the company. Okay, so why are you spending time negotiating with manufacturers? You literally hate it and push it off. You're not good at it, and you're actually hurting the company.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we could actually. It's so simple. It's stupid. Where I'm like, oh, we could actually just find someone that could do the things that I don't like to do. Like the way I feel about selling, they feel the same way about operations.
Yeah.
And then you play to your strengths.
Yeah, exactly. And like, there's someone out there that loves to do everything.
Yes.
Like I feel like there's not a lot of people who like to do like what I do. Maybe there are, but it's like very different than someone who like loves to do like there's like there's people out there who, like love to do clips, and then there's like people out there who love to just talk on podcasts. There's people out there who love to do anything. So it's like everyone has like strength. There's people who have strengths, and so it's like you have to build a team around that.
I think one of the coolest things is seeing the team come together too, right? Where it's like you go from like being the bottleneck and these big cogs in the machine being broken. You're like, damn, I know if I could fix this, we could be doing so much more. And then when you start to make the right decisions and you put the right people in the right roles, and you look back, like I was looking at Slack the other day, and I'm like, dude, this business is like a well-oiled machine right now. Isn't that such a cool feeling to see it all come together?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing too that we haven't even talked about is you also have a brand on the side as well.
I do.
SPRKL.
Yeah.
I'd love to tell the audience a little bit about that and just the experience of like, you know, why you started it, how's it been so far?
Yeah, and so my dad and my stepmom own a wine bar in the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and so when I would go home on leave, I would go and like visit the wine bar, and they'd be working it, so I'd just be sitting at the bar drinking wine essentially, and so like my teeth would get really red when I'm drinking the wine, and so I was like, and I periodically like go upstairs and like brush my teeth in like the employee bathroom, and I'm like, there's got to be like a better way from this, and then looked it up, there wasn't. There's no solution out there. So I'm like, okay, there's like a market here. Like red wine stains your teeth, there's no solution to it. And so that was like right before I started like the training cycle, where I was like super busy, like when I first talked to you guys. So it was like a couple months before that. And so I kind of tabled it until like last March. And then I thought about it the whole time, like I was in the field. I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense to me. I need to act on this. Like, and I love business, and so it's like this will be a place for me to kind of like, you know, try all these things out, like build a business and like kind of do what I'm passionate about. So started last March, hired a guy to do my branding, and then I tried to source my product like within the United States. I called every wet wipe manufacturer in the U.S. They're quoting me like outrageous things, so I sourced it overseas. Got a product. The product works super well. I love it. It works really well for like coffee and things too. Anyway, launched in November, and then even since like being down here, like I'll meet people that like will help me like elevate the business. So it's like when I launched in November, I was like, oh, I have a great product. It solves an actual problem in a market. Like it's gonna crush. And then like I launched and like it did okay, but I was like, oh, this is a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah.
Like this, like you can't just set it up and just like it doesn't just sell itself. Like you actually have to sell it.
You're like, oh, it doesn't just do 50K the first day.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And so that's like I was so naive, but I mean that was kind of my strength too. Like just like being naive and jumping into it. You guys have talked about that with Noble as well. But yeah, so I launched. I'm like, okay, it's not actually as easy as it seems. I still really haven't figured it out. But I met a guy in January, like at a run club. We did like a trash pickup, like on the Ladybird Lake Trail, and I was like paired with this guy, and he was like, he's like a guru on like Amazon and then like affiliate marketing, and so like he like helped me get on the Amazon. So I got on the Amazon like right after that, and then doing pretty well on Amazon now. I still like I need to get enrolled in the FBA and like get it all set up because I'm fulfilling everything in my kitchen right now, doing everything. But
just scrappy,
so scrappy, not scalable at all. But it's like I just like met random people. Like I met the big SaaS founder in the sauna at Collective, and then next thing I know, like I'm onboarded onto his platform. and it's like very, very interesting. But it's just like I know that like I still haven't figured it out yet, but I know that like if I keep putting myself out there and like keep doing the right things, then like eventually it'll work out and like it'll be okay. And I'm not like particularly like I like wine, and like I'm not a huge drinker anymore. Like I'm really passionate about health, and so that's why I'm so bought into like Noble and the Meat Mafia and Base Brand. Is like I want to work in health. I want to work for you guys, and like that's like my main priority.
Yeah, but it's kind of like through that you're getting a real world MBA too. It's hard to explain that. I think there's a lot of feeling that young men have where they're just like, I just want to create a product and just start something from scratch and just have like all the onus on me, where if it works, it's on me. If it fails, it's on me. And it's just a very different skill set where like if you're just working for someone, you have the set task that you're assigned to do, and then you don't worry about any other aspect in the business. But because you're kind of doing this scrappy, you were calling it unscalable thing. I actually think it's unscalable to a point where it's scalable, where in the beginning you're like, all right, I'm sourcing the product, I'm setting up the Amazon, I'm doing the product shots, I'm answering all the customer service tickets. I don't know. I think there's something about a founder touching all the aspects in the business in the beginning that just gives you this context that you wouldn't have if you just outsourced it all to agencies from day one, if you had capital behind you.
Yeah, and it like there's nothing cooler than like having someone that you don't know buy your product for the first time.
So
like
cool.
that was probably the coolest thing I've ever experienced professionally.
Yes.
But it has helped me a lot, like with Noble and with Meat Mafia. Like a lot of the things I come across now, it's like because I started something on my own, and like even, I didn't do it great, but it's like I had the experience of like going on Amazon. So like now when Noble launched on Amazon, and like I have to like work on some things, and I'm like, oh, like I'm familiar with the Amazon platform because like my product is on it. And
Yes.
so like I understand like how it works, and so it's like by doing something on my own, it's like I like when I work for you guys, like it's like I have experience like doing like pretty much everything, like because I've done it all myself.
Yes.
And it's like I do love like building businesses. Like I think that's like what I really enjoy, and so like I know in my career, like I'm gonna build probably so many more businesses, like with different ideas in different areas and things like that.
And the only solution is like, it's like, unfortunately you can't figure it out reading in a book. You have to start, you have to start the, you have to start Sparkle and just get kicked in the teeth in a good way and just learn, right? That's how you build a brand, is by building the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so like just figuring it all out and like learning how to do everything. You have to be like continuously learning. Like you can't just be stagnant.
Yeah.
And like because like with the Sparkle, like I see like when I'm stagnant, like it doesn't grow, and like I have to like actually work on it.
Yes. Yeah, that's an interesting thing of like when you're by yourself, it's like if I don't do these things, the business is literally not going to grow at all. It's all on you.
I think it's important for like people to like have an idea of that too. It's like
Are you at a phase of life with everything you're doing now in Austin, the workouts, the run clubs, working with us, Sparkle, I know you're going back to Alaska and doing some stuff for the Army still too. Do you have the capacity? Like, are you still making the time to continuously learn outside of it and consume podcasts and books? And how do you think about that?
Yeah. I try and like, I really don't listen to a lot of music. Like
Me too.
if I'm like listening to something, like besides when I'm working, like I'll listen to like EDM sets, and like I'm just absolutely wired on my computer. But like when I'm running, especially like my easy runs, I'll like put on a podcast, like Founders Podcast, like a podcast where I can actually like learn something and not just like an entertainment podcast. And like I think like especially subconsciously, like if I just have stuff going through my ears like at all times of the day, that's like that like I can learn from, then like I'll just subconsciously pick it up, and then it's like like I'll start there and just like notice it like when it comes about. It's like Founders Podcast is a great thing to listen to, and then it's like I try and read as much as I can, but it's like I'm so busy right now. It's like podcasts are the main, and audiobooks are like the main way that like I learn.
Yes, I think it's a good thing when you get to a point where you're like, I'm still trying to make the effort to learn, but I don't have as much time because I'm doing the real thing versus like reading about doing the real thing too. I think it's actually a good paradox, Yeah,
but I like there is like a whole like say to it, like sometimes you do have to like lock in.
Absolutely, just lock in.
And then like have no like Zach Pograb, he always talks about the obsession. Like he I see him tweet, he's like, you should have no time to do anything but like your passion or like your mission or your obsession. Like and there are times for that. Like there are times where you do need to lock in.
Yes, it's a balance of like there's so much opportunity in this country that I believe you could lose your fortune 5 times over and then make a couple right moves and win it all back too. Like a lot of people talk about that, and then balancing that with like, yes, I might be in my mid-20s or I might be 30. And before you know it, it's like, dude, you're going to be married with children and then you have grandchildren. And then you look back and you're like, I'm too old to start the thing that I wish I had started. And I think like just the value of time and the currency of that and just understanding how quick it all goes. Like, I guarantee you your Army experience went like that.
So fast.
And the next thing you know, you're going to be my age too. So it's like, dude, you're like just being in the game and recognizing that you're in a game at a young age. And like, just want to maximize my potential, my opportunity. That's it, man.
Yeah, you do have to like balance your life too, though. And it's like
definitely.
So I try and like I do a lot.
Yes.
Like obviously, but it's like I do like to relax. So it's like I'll go on like a long walk around the lake. Like that's my favorite thing to do, and like get steps in and like not think about any business. Like and like grow like especially like when I was in college, like. When I'd be a zombie by Thursday, like on campus, like I didn't know how to balance.
Yes.
And so like I just did it all full force. And then like now it's like I feel like I have a pretty healthy balance. So like, I know my capacity just because I've done it for years. Like done multiple things for years. Like I worked for you guys like when I was in the Army. So like I'd work a full Army day, then I'd come back, I'd work on SPRKL, I work for you guys, and then it's like I still had a life outside of that. So it's like I couldn't have done it. Like that was pretty much my max capacity. But it was like now that I know what my capacity is, it's like now I can like I put in time to balance and like disengage and like enjoy my life as well. And like Austin is such an easy city to enjoy.
Yes.
And there's so much to experience here.
Yes, I think something that a lot of young men need to understand, like there are a lot of things that Hormozy, Tate, Andy Elliott, I like a lot of those guys like in their ethos, and I think there's a lot of truth to what they're saying, but I think you can also listen to those guys and be like, oh, if I'm on a walk in Lady Bird without my phone and just like taking in sun and decompressing, that's like me losing revenue or something like that. And it's like, I think a lot of young people actually need to take the time to unplug and actually think and decompress and recharge the batteries. Like that's not being lazy. It's not mental masturbation. That's literally just like balancing this energy flywheel so you can make sure you're steering the ship in the right direction and also like filling yourself up with energy to keep going back to the well and do the things you need to do.
Yeah. And if you get like I've been extremely burnt out. Like if you get really burnt out, then like you're no good to anything that you're doing.
Yes. Yeah. Like I found those moments of like a couple, either like there's period of times where it's like, hey, sleep deprivation, no sleep, 1 hour sleep, just Chad ramming this thing. There's a time and a place for that. But if I stack those days up, I actually lose this like this deeper level of thinking and vision and like where we should be steering the ship. So I'm kind of working like a task rabbit, but I'm not working on like the bigger picture things. Like it might actually be the one of the least important tasks that I'm spending all my time on because I can't critically think because I'm just like deprived almost.
And sleep has been such a big thing too for that. Like when I was in the military, like I didn't sleep that well. Like I would get like 6 hours if that. Just like I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and it's like I'd get home from work at like 6, and then I'd work out, still cook dinner, and like work on the other jobs, and like I still trained a lot outside too. So like I ran a lot, and so it's like I didn't have much time to sleep. But like now that like I actually have time to like actually sleep, and like I can sleep a full 8 hours at night, like my mind is so like I can feel it in my mind, like it's like so clear. And like that, and then on top of that, like cleaning up my diet, which is something we haven't really touched about, but like I used to have a really bad like not like really bad diet, but like I never had any nutritional like information given to me growing up. Like when I was a kid, like I drank a lot of soda, I ate a lot of fast food. In college, drank a lot, ate a lot of fast food, like didn't really care. Like and then I was like a personal trainer, but I'm like, oh, I work out so much that I can just like out train a bad diet. That's not the case. And I didn't really know about like learn about a diet until I started listening to you guys. And you guys like really you and Harry really changed my perspective on diet, and like ever since then, like I've always been like smart and high performing, but it's like now it's like when I have a good diet and like I'm sleeping well, like I am so mentally clear that like that's what sets me apart from everything else.
Dude, I love that you said that. And it does seem like there's this like, I don't know, the shift in the zeitgeist where there's some people that are so married to just, you know, calories in, calories out, macronutrients. It seems like a very old school bodybuilding thing. There's merit to that because thermodynamics is real. And then the animal-based movement, this really strong focus on, you know, micronutrients and organic and grass finish and like extracting as many micronutrients as possible. There's merit to that too. But I think if you just optimize for like one of those lanes, I think you're missing the critical mark, where I see a lot of people that are going the hardcore micronutrient route where they're drinking a ton of raw milk and throwing a ton of butter on everything and like grass finished meat. And I'm like, dude, you're probably burning 3,200 calories, but you're eating 4,000. So you're wondering why you're actually getting heavier and have a little bit of a belly.
Yeah.
Because calories in, calories out matters, where like you see people that are super ripped, all macros, and they feel like shit because they're eating like these poor quality things and they're just optimizing for protein and just being in a caloric deficit. And it's like the blend of both of those things.
Yeah. And I remember like I've like in college and like early in my Army career, like I've been there too. Like I counted every macro, like I had everything dialed out, and it's like stressful.
It is stressful.
That's, like, and like when you're doing all this other stuff, like that's so much work. Whereas like now, like I have such a good like relationship with food. Like I eat animal based, like mostly like I'll eat potatoes, like but my main meal is just like ground beef and potatoes, which is kind of base.
It's your staple, dude. It's your staple.
I like eat that, and then like I go to Sweetgreen like probably 4 times a week, and then I eat like I drink like a gallon of raw milk a week. But that's like pretty much the core of my diet, and it's like I don't know, like I've never felt better. I've never felt more dialed.
Yes, it's like those. I think everyone needs to find those 3 to 4 meals that are their staples. They're easy to make. You love it. You could eat it day in and day out, and you can just swap and oscillate between those 4 things. Like I think young men in particular. Like I remember moving to New York when I was 23. I couldn't cook anything, dude. Like learn how to pan cook some ground beef, bake chicken thighs in the oven, pan sear a steak really well, throw some potatoes in there, throw some vegetables in the air fryer, and it's like you're only doing a couple things and seasoning the food, and you have these amazing dishes for like $12 a meal. Yeah,
and I don't know, a lot of like I guess like guys my age too, like they don't know how to cook that well. Like they'll just eat out all the time. And so like you just like you said, learn how to make those few things, and then like you prioritize that like during the week. Like you have a good lunch, you have a good dinner like all week, and then it's like you don't have to feel bad about grabbing a burger with your boys like on the weekends.
Absolutely.
Like you can let go a little bit, and like it won't kill you.
Little home sliced pizza every once in a while.
Exactly.
Not gonna kill
I love
you.
a good pizza.
Yeah.
But it's like if I'm dialed in during the week with my training and my nutrition, then it's like on the weekend or like when different events come up. Like I was just at a wedding this past weekend, and like my diet was like not as great, but it's like I didn't even think twice about it, just because like I know I'm gonna come. I know I was dialed last week. I know I'm gonna come back from that, and I'm gonna be dialed this week, and it's like I don't have to worry about anything.
Yes. Dude, how bad are MREs?
Like taste-wise?
Yes.
Honestly, like they're not horrible. They're pretty bad, so like I feel like if you're not used to them. But it's like we had cold weather MREs in Alaska, and so they're kind of like freeze-dried mountain meals. Okay. And so those are actually pretty good. Like those are like the gold standard of MREs.
Oh, really? That you want the cold?
Yeah, we had like jet boils, and we'd have to like heat them up, boil water, then they're freeze dried, so you pour it in there, and it's like a good warm meal. So it's like actually nice. But when I was like in training, like my drill sergeants told me, they're like, you're in the infantry, like don't each like actual MRE, like the old ones or like the non-cold weather ones, the regular ones, they come with like a water heater thing, so you can like heat up your meal. And like my infantry drill sergeant would be like, don't use that, like you're in the infantry. And so I just like never used the heater, so it'd just be like cheese tortellini, just cold, or like it's not great, like they're not great, but like when you're in the field, like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you're just mission focused at that point. What's the MRE when you get it? You're like, oh, this is incredible. And what's the one where people are like, this is legitimate shit. This is dog food.
My favorite MRE, the cold weather one, was turkey tetrazzini, turkey tet.
Turkey tet.
Yeah, so it's like they have every MRE has like a main meal, and then they have like sides. And so like some people are like really into the sides game. Like they're like, oh, I don't really care about the main meal, but like if I have good sides, then like I can store them for later, then eat them later on. Whereas like I was big on the turkey tet main meal, and the sides are kind of mid. But the main meal is phenomenal. It's like kind of like a Mediterranean dish.
Okay.
Like some rice and some turkeys and some peppers and stuff. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
There's one actual MRE. It's called like Italian sausage. It's meal number 4. They're all numbered. It's meal number, maybe it's 20 actually. I think it's 20. Italian peppers and sausage or whatever. That one's pretty fire too. But like the sides kind of vary. Like it's like sometimes there's breadsticks, sometimes there's like trail mix, like just like a bunch of
little breadstick in the field is probably divine, right?
Not bad, yeah. But Italian sausage and then turkey tet are my 2 favorites.
What's the dog food? Like what's the shit where people are like, dude, I'm not eating this?
I'm trying to think. This is a hot take. A lot of people like this one, but for the cold weather, it's seafood chowder.
Okay.
I just wasn't big on, like, I'm pretty particular. Like, I'm not going to eat seafood if I'm not by the coast. And,
yes.
like, a seafood MRE, like, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But people love the seafood chowder.
That's controversial take.
That is extremely controversial, especially people in Alaska. Like, that is extremely controversial.
Because some people just love clam chowder, so they probably love it. But you're like, dude, I'm not eating this like aged clams or whatever.
Give me the beef stroganoff or the turkey tet.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude. And now it's like you go from eating MREs to like just being able to have whatever you want. Awesome now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother, anything else you're passionate to like talk about or message to the audience before we wrap?
No, I mean, I just appreciate being here. I'm sorry I talk like a Chad. People tell me that all the time.
No, dude, you're very well spoken, man.
But I appreciate being here. I love working with you guys, and like I'm very passionate. And it's like really nice to have a job where I actually look forward to working every day. And like every weekend, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for Monday, like to actually like go to work and grind. Like I hadn't felt that like since I worked at the rec center in college. Like I like the Army, but it's like I wasn't like dying to go every day because like it's such like a big thing. But now it's like every day, like I could not live a better life like than I'm doing right now. And I'm very fortunate to like be where I am.
Dude, well, you're kicking ass, man. I think that that in itself is a great message for people of like, it's very cliche, but it's possible. Like just how do I put myself in a position where the thing that I'm doing just like lights a fire under my ass, where I genuinely am. I know that I'm doing things right when I get out of bed and I'm like, dude, thank you, God, just to be able to have this day. And when I don't feel that, it's the worst feeling. And when I have it, it's the best feeling. And I think the listener needs to understand like that is absolutely possible for you.
Yeah.
But man, you're a culture spark plug. You've lifted Harry and I up so much. And dude, we feel incredibly fortunate to be able to work with you, man. And I just can't wait to see the next couple of years of your journey and for our paths to cross and build a friendship and work together. I think God's got some huge things in store for you, man. So I just appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. I'm so excited for it.
Cool. And we'll link to all your stuff in the show notes too, and some sparkle strips for people too.
Of course.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.